Well, hello guys. This is Rhonda with Hallstrom Home, and today we are going to create a chippy paint corbel. So bear in mind, before we get going, I am videotaping this myself. I don't have any help today, so hopefully I can keep everything on point and still be able to show you really well what I'm doing here. So another thing that's really going to be funny, I think it's going to be funny, is I've never done this technique before on anything. So this is kind of trial and error, and I'm taking you with me, but I think it should work. And so what we're gonna do to get the chippy paint look is we're gonna apply standard wood glue. You can use any kind of Elmer's glue or project glue, and we're gonna wipe it all over our base, and you can use anything, furniture to whatever, but today we're doing a corbel. And so we're gonna start with our glue, and I got a whole puddle of glue here to start with, and then I'll add more as we go. And then while the glue is still wet, I'm going to go ahead and paint over top of my corbel, and then as it dries, it's going to give it that awesome chippy look that we all love. So why don't we get going and see how this turns out. One thing I was told when doing this technique is that whatever way you paint your paint on, so the direction of your paint is the direction that your chippy is going to happen. And I've noticed some people like to do different directions, but on this particular piece, I want it to have that classic old look that is all one dimension, going one direction, I should say. So, excuse me. Bear in mind, I just got over that really bad cold that was going around. Of course, you guys might be watching this video months later and go, what? It's the middle of summer. It's not cold season, but it's been a pretty bad one this year. Anyways, okay, so I'm just making sure I'm getting paint all in the details because I want this super chippy. And let me apologize here that, I know I probably should be going all on one side and then the middle and then the other side, but I tend to kind of do my own thing when it comes to painting and a lot of other things in life. And on the glue, you can apply the glue in any direction. That doesn't have to go in, just a back and forth. You can go any old way. It's just when you're applying the paint. If you want your paint to crack in one direction, that's what you're gonna wanna focus on is those paint marks. Okay, hey, let me tell you something else here. I am using a classic cheap chippy brush for this project. Bear in mind when you use these paint brushes, and I say this in all my videos, when I use these, you will get little pieces that come out and onto your product. It's annoying, but what do you expect when it's so cheap to use these? So I just, pull them off. If you notice some loose threads before, sorry, they're not called threads, but if you notice some loose ones, you just pull them off before you get going. So now we have paint on the front side and on that one side facing you, and now I'm just going to go ahead and finish this up on this side, and you can't see it, and I would stop and move my video so that you could see what I'm doing. However, I'm afraid I would probably dump it over and then we'd have a disaster on our hands. So let me put some more glue down on my cardboard. I will put some links here in the notes. We have a product resource page on the blog. So if you're looking for my favorite personal brand of paint, it's not a paid sponsorship, even though I did get a trip down to Waco to visit Chip and Joanna Gaines as part of their paint launch. I'm not actually a sponsored person for them, so I just use my own brand that I like, and so I'll have that in the product resource page that I'll put here on the video. Be sure to like and subscribe this video if you are interested in more DIYs. I have a lot of DIYs on how to paint frames, mirrors. We'll have, I think, is there a piece of furniture that I painted? I know it's on the blog. Between, you know, the blog and here, we'll get you guys covered. All right, so should we see if that's enough paint on here? Sorry, I mean enough glue. Well, we're gonna give it a try. So let's start adding our paint, and I'm gonna try to be good and just get it in one direction here. So if you apply your paint really thick, you're not gonna get as much crackle, or at least that's what I was told. But I've never done this before, so you guys are along for the ride to see how this turns out. One thing about this corbel is my husband made the template, and we've seen a lot of corbels online. They're really popular for the farmhouse decor, but a lot of them weren't wood, and so and then there are a few people that make wood ones, but not with this chippy paint. So he went ahead and made this template, and then one of our girls went ahead and made some more of these, and they're currently not posted on my website, but they will be. Of course, by the time you guys watch this, maybe they'll be up and rolling. Just bear in mind that when you are looking at somebody's custom shop, it's not going to be cheap like buying China made. So okay, so again, I'm just trying to go in that back and forth motion here so that it crackles all in one direction. Whoops, can we say bad videoing? This is hysterical. I think it needs to flip this way. You guys, you want to fire me from being a videographer? I should probably have this posted on a different surface. So let me put this down right here. I'm going to tilt it, and it's not going to want to stay. So let me see if I can. You guys, I should be fired. Well, okay, so you can see that it's already starting to get chippy, and it looks like, if we look really close, that that must be one of those little pieces from my paintbrush. Okay, so you can overwork this if you want and get it a little bit more crusty, which I really like. That was my whole point of me. See these little hairs from my paintbrush? They're annoying. Okay, so get some more paint on here and some in this corner, and we are going to wait for it to dry. So if you want to speed up the drying process, you can go ahead and use a hair dryer. It's a pretty handy little tool. So yeah, let's get in, zoom in a little bit. There it is, starting to dry in that crackle fashion. Cheap, easy, and I would say pretty darn fast. Let me know what you think. I would love for you to leave a comment